in a big party, like in a club party.
I did
like
that in Thailand. In
Really?
in Phi.
Nice.
Yeah, I was walking the streets and like I met these two girls. Like, whoa, what's up? They lived in Trondheim also when I lived there. Yeah, we were partying
Okay,
together.
boys. Let's see. Let's calm ourselves. We're online. If you want to follow along with some things, we're gonna have to go on Twitch.
Twitch.
Right. So there's the gang. And yeah, there you go. We can see everyone. Right, say hello to the public, folks.
Oh my God! Hello.
No, you went all. You were so chatty just a second ago, and you went all quiet. Well, that's
my camera is stuck.
That's right.
That's the way it is. Okay, so people, we're gonna talk about internationalization, and this is a demo requested by you, which means that I obliged. Your command is my... No, your wish is my command, right? That's how you say it, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So this is not a code along demo in any way, but perhaps note along. As usual, we want to get you guys up to speed one way or another. So let's see. We're gonna go over to GitHub, and we're gonna do this on your actual client. What client would you like me to internationalize for you?
Client user.
Yeah. This one. Okay. Let's just go on and fork this baby. And I'm going to pull it down or clone it down. That's the appropriate term, to my local host. This thingy, and I'm also going to set up the upstream just for having it, just so I have it. Where is it? Fake news client user, right? So git remote add upstream this, and these are steps that you've seen me do over and over and over again, so this should be pretty straightforward now, isn't it? Let's just do yarn. And in the meantime, we're just gonna check our internal memory, and we're on 5.5 GB. If I forget to check this from time to time, gentlemen, please remind me to do that, because it's a good thing. Right. So we want to. So the objective here is to have a user interface where we can say certain things in English if we want that, and we want to add an ability for our users to switch to another language. And you know, since we're gonna pick the low-hanging fruit here, we will add Swedish as the second language. Is that okay with you, Danish boy?
Not really, but I guess I'll go with it.
All right. I'm terrible at spelling in Danish, so unless you want to jump into a live session with me, we're gonna have to stick to Swedish.
We can. It's
Seva, are you okay with being discriminated against? And Welsh is tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna stick to
go for Klingon, Thomas.
Klingon is okay. I can actually do that. You know, I don't want to go into why I can do that, but I can. But I don't know all the expressions in Klingon for, you know, definitely not for computer science, but also like everyday words are really hard. I can say that I'm gonna kill you. I can say a few other, or I want to go to bed with you. forcefully.
They're not exactly sentences you want to mix up either.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're used together.
Yeah. All right. Let's. This channel is marked, so not for kids. So that we should be okay with that. Now, so there is. So let's talk a little bit about technologies that we will be using to start with. But then I will actually write a test for this. So that we are okay with everything. I'm just going to check your Cypress JSON. This is your project. We have base URL 3001, okay, and we have Chrome Web Security set to false. That's goody. Now we want to take a look at what sort of package we will use. And so one very common term you will encounter when you talk about internationalization or translating user interfaces, there are two terms. One that is called internationalization and the other one is called localization. I will touch upon both of them. They touch upon different things, but let's not confuse things. Now let us say Albus Yoda Bond, but that's a very tough handle, but thank you for the follow. Appreciate it a lot. Now, we're just going to go to npm npmjs.org, and we're going to take a look at a package that we will be using today. Since we are in React world, we're going to look for React I18Next. I18Next is a package for translating JavaScript based applications, and React I18Next is a wrapper of that functionality for React applications, basically. Cool. And we can see here a note from two bloody commercials in a row. Really, 2 commercials in a row. That's really not cool. I'm sorry. Well, I can't control that, unfortunately. But I will repeat myself many times. Anyway, version 10 of this package is using hooks, which is good news for us, I would say. So we can definitely. Where are you? There you are. We can definitely make use of that. So React I18Next is the one we're going to use. And so the documentation is published in a specific website, so we're going to tap into that. What will my code look like? Before, your React code would have looked something like this, just a simple content and some other stuff. And with translations, we will use this syntax, right? T, which is a function. It's a one-word function. You know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. And then we're just going to pass in a key name. So our translations will be stored in a JSON file where you have key values. You have a key saying, for instance, simple content, and then there will be a value associated with that. Cool. So that's the lowest hanging fruit here. Let's take a look at the documentation side. Right. We have a quick start. Why don't we just go to the quick start? We can install this guy, and this needs to be installed in our main dependencies because this will be, of course, used at runtime. So we want this to be available all over the place. And then we need to create a file in our root folder that is called i18n.js. He says beside your index.js, so this means the root folder, basically. And here we need to do a little bit of setup. We want to import this package. We want to import init React. Okay, so we're making use of the I18Next package and the React wrapper. And then we do translations here, English and French in this case, and then we set up this I18N object to use the init React Next, and then initialize with some resources, apparently only English. That's weird. That's a weird example, just to initiate one thing, but okay. We have a key separated set to false in an interpolation set to false, because we already do that in React apparently. We do not use keys in form. Well, we'll see about that one actually. And then we export this, pretty straightforward. And then the interesting part, okay, let's see at the interesting part, is by I18N using this. We pass the I18N instance to React I18Next, which will make it available for all the components with the context API. Okay, and then we need to import this baby into our entry file, which is the index.js by default, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And then we translate your content using the hook. So that's the setup, right? And then we need to use it somehow. So using the hook in functional components is one of the options you got. The T function is the main function, okay? So we just import the hook, use translation, and then if we only, yeah, so then we create this constant here. We extract that from the use translation, whatever we get from calling use translation, and then that's it, right? We don't necessarily, I know by a fact that we don't need this unless we want to change something in the setting. So we can only import this T here. Right. That's about it. I think that's about it. Let's see if we can make this happen, okay? Shall we?
Yes.
So we're gonna do git check out a new branch, and we're gonna say translations. Hello UT61, we are doing translations in React, and I know that you are into React, so this might or might not be interesting for you. So we have a new branch, and let's just take a look at the package JSON for some scripts. Where's my scripts? Cypress, right. So I'm just gonna do yarn Cypress just to make sure that my tests are going green, that we haven't effed up anything. Would be embarrassing if we notice that later on. It's better to know beforehand. Quick check, still good on memory. Awesome. Where is my, there we go. We started this. Dum da dum. Oh, we're on another window, so we're gonna move this guy up here, and we're just gonna, well, we can actually yeah, let's run one of them. We don't necessarily have to run the whole thing. Right. Servers are currently not responding. Please try again later. And the server, okay, yeah, right. And here we're getting some weird stuff that are not responsive enough here. Not sure if that's,
Yeah, Cypress
okay,
is a bit weird.
Is that the latest code?
well, I just pulled it down, so
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, the Lucas is the update last.
right. So okay. Oh well, thank you very much for that, UT61. If it was helpful, then keep a watchful eye on that channel, because we are publishing a lot of content. Good stuff. All right, so we're gonna try. We're gonna translate something, something small to start with. Let's stop this for now, and let's let's take a look at the tests, and we're gonna go into our Cypress test, integration test, and we can see main page, can read entire, can navigate a category page. Let's see if we can do it in something that is. No, we're gonna create a new one. We're gonna create a new file, and say user can change UI language dot feature dot js. Are you using features or feature? Right. Okay. Right. So we're gonna say describe init, and we're just gonna do a before block. And here we're just gonna see ci.visit simple thingy, and language UI user can user can change UI language by language, right? So I'm just gonna do another describe or context by clicking on Swedish, something like that, right? And then we're just gonna move this up. So format our code, and then we're gonna say is expected to show application. Is this fake news? Is that text or what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Application name. Name in Swedish. Right. So we would say ci get. We're probably gonna add a data cy there somewhere. Data cy equal app title. I'm just gonna I guess there is nothing there now, is it? Does the fake news have a data cy already? Do you know that? Where do you display that in header or main page or
main page? I think.
Main page. Yeah.
Yeah.
where?
Oh no, it's in the nav bar, isn't it? Layout, I think.
Yeah.
Components layout. It's a folder layout.
Yeah.
And then nav bar.
Right.
Yeah. That was it.
It's a link there.
There you go. There you go.
CY header.
Right. 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 That's a link, right? So I'm just gonna do data cy here equals app title. That's a ID question. Is this modifiable, or why is this a specific span?
Change the color of the question mark.
Ah, okay, I got you. I was a bit of a bummer, but we can definitely pull this off. Yeah, this will definitely be on Albus. This will definitely be on YouTube later today. Absolutely. Okay, that's a bit of a complication, but we will work our way through this, of course. Of course. Of course. Oh, God. Right. Why would you have to have that? Anyway.
Not going to make it easy.
We're going to say should, and then I'm just going to say contain, and then I'm just going to say, right, it's going to say, so it's going to contain some HTML, so we say, and we will say falska nyheter. And this one needs to be, well, I need to wrap this in double quotes. Right. And then clicking on Swedish, so we're just going to say ci.get, and then
square bracket after title, maybe. Line 10.
Right. Right. I found out a way to simplify this actually a little bit. Language select contains Swedish, and just click on the little sucker, right? Right, so if we click on Swedish, it should be falska nyheter, right? Okay. So this one will of course not work for us, but we're gonna run it nonetheless. Right. There's nothing to click. Language select is not that. So in the nav bar, it's gonna go to the nav bar. I'm just gonna take this with me, and here, tab home link. Right. So I can probably use a tab here. Like this, and I'm going to say bum bum bum. I'm going to say data CY. Well, that's not going to work actually in the long run. So, but anyway, language select. Right. As a link. I wonder if I can wrap this. What if I wrap this and it's not a link per se? I don't need to say to, right?
No, and I don't think you need a link either, actually, because we only use link to have the two.
Right, but where can I add some text to it?
Menu. That's the. Is it the panes? Oh wait, the panes. Wait, who
Where's
said this?
paint? Oh, there it is. Okay. Menu, secondary true. Well, we probably don't want this, right? No. So let's just say menu item. I don't understand how this works at all, to be honest. So let's forget about this. Okay. Let's just add this. What if I just say a div?
Yeah.
And then just say Swedish. What does that look like? Oh, it places it down here. Okay, so that sucks big time. Oh, fuck. So what if I just copy the whole thing? Panes. What is panes? So what if I just add more? Menu item.
I guess we should refactor this actually, because tabs are used to have some content under it.
Right. Yeah.
We don't have.
No, this is not even showing. Yeah. Fuck that. Right. I'm just gonna move this down here. Let's have a look. What does this look like? Swedish here. Okay. It doesn't need to be pretty. You can probably style this later. Okay. Is that all right with you guys?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that click work.
Right.
Fine.
Right. And then data cy equals select, and then I probably just gonna use span. Span. Ah, damn it. Right. So, and then I'm just gonna do another span, and I'm just gonna say English here, just so we have two for It's a bit of premature optimization, but we can live with that, right? Okay, let's have a look. What does it look like? Right, English, Swedish. Okay, so we will say this one on click. On click, we need to do something here, right? Oh, somebody's trying to get in. Trying to get in. Who's that? Where am
Arun.
I? There we go. All right. Hello, Arun. I hope you're feeling better. Are you okay?
Not completely yet.
Okay. All right. Let's talk afterwards, but just try to follow along. Right on. Okay. So here on click, we want to do something, you know, and just return. No. For now, we don't want to do anything, but just click on it. Let's see if it actually works. Right, we did click on it, so we're good to go. All right, so now the app title should be something else. So that's, in order to make that happen, we need to follow those instructions that we got from the I18N documentation, right? So we're just gonna do yarn add on this one. So we do yarn add D, no, not D, sorry, that was right. We're just gonna add these two dependencies. We should be pretty good to go soon. Right, and in our, well, I did say root folder, but we have to go to where our source folder is. So that's not the root, it's actually here in source. That's where we want to do a new file, and we're going to call this file I18N.js. And here we want to import I18Next, I18Next from I18Next, sorry, and that will be called I18N. And so the problem with all of this stuff, and guys, I've stumbled upon this many times. Sometimes in certain implementation, the I is a capital I, sometimes it's a small I, and I never figure out when and where it is. So I just usually follow documentation to do that. In Rails, for instance, we can use a very similar flow in Rails. That's always a capital I, you know, but because modules are capitalized in Ruby. But anyway, we're gonna import this guy, and we're gonna say that we want to import from the React I18 Next library the module that is called init React I18 Next, like this. Okay, and then we want to not do anything at this point, but we just want to say const resources, for instance, equals an object, and we will say SE will be a JSON object, and we will say app title would be falska nyheter. Well, actually, no, it won't be that. It will be exactly what we did here, the span and everything. We can pass in a bit of HTML and hope for the best. I don't know. Again, I said that this might be a bit of an issue here. But so the app title would be falska nyheter, and here in English, that will also be an object, and the app title would be the same thing, but fake right? Fake news, right? Okay. So now we have those resources, and then we just say I18N use, and we want this to use the init React thing, and then initialize with an object here, right? So I can just place this on for readability like this. Okay, so what do we need here? Well, first of all, we need to pass in the resources, which will be those languages, and then we want to say language. I think I need to say LGN, and that would be EN, which is the default language, and I think interpolation could be set to another object, and this escape value should be set to false. That's because of the fact that React is already doing this for us, and so on, right? So I think this is the minimal setup that we can do, and the only thing that is left for us is to export this baby. So we want to export I18N like this. Okay. There are a few caveats here. Of course, we want to get rid of these things from this file later on, because if you have a large application, you do not want to hold the translation files directly here. You want to extract that to a separate file, for instance, and there might be other settings that we want to use here. For instance, you can always use a fallback language if your Swedish translation is not containing any like a specific key and value, then we can configure the application to use the English translation if it's missing, but let's pick a bit of low-hanging fruits here as much as possible. So we have the languages, we have the all these things, and we're good to go. So in our index.js, we want to just import this guy, simply import it. Sorry. Which means that, yeah, exactly, we don't need any of this. We just import him like ./I18N. Okay, and so there's nothing else to do here at this stage. So we will go to the app.jsx. Where's app.jsx? Here it is. Right. Actually, we don't. Yeah, we want to go to the navigation bar, nav bar, here, and here we will import from the React I18Next library the hook that is called use translation, like this, and then we want to say const t equals use translation, like this, and here, and not only use translation but also the I18N. There we go, right, both of them. And on click here, let's see, where's the, there it is, right. No, so first thing here, we want to inject some JavaScript, and we want to say T and then app title, and we're gonna see if this actually works or not. Perhaps no, it just says app title. Well, thank you for that. But T app title, T app title, app title.
Is it without the strings, perhaps?
No, not
No?
according to the documentation.
Okay.
En resources. It's an object. Translation. Do I have to wrap this in translation? Perhaps I do. Hold on a second. We'll check, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So SE needs to have another translation object like this, and then we need to move this guy in here, and it's the same, do the same thing here, translation, and we need to move this guy up here. Right, so let's see if that works, right? I mean, before we start switching languages, we need to see that it works or not. No? Well, because en resources, right, resource language, key separator false. Do I have to restart the app, or what do I need to do? In my opinion, this looks good, you know. Let's see, what am I missing here? Use React resources, SEEN, language is EN. This looks okay to me, but it clearly isn't. So let's stop this thing. Let's stop this thing, and let's stop the server for a second. See if that has anything to do with it. It shouldn't, but you never know, right? I've been surprised by less weird stuff. Right. No. And do we get any errors? Yes, we do get errors. But are you guys checking your console from time to time? Because now I'm not sure if this is my errors or your errors. It doesn't seem to be mine.
Of P.
So right, but I have something that is related to me. So I18N languages were undefined or empty. So there's a problem somewhere here. Not sure what it is though. Yeah, right, we append it to the DOM. Right, so we append it. We append this to the DOM. There's nothing here. This is exactly how we're doing this. What are we doing? That is not correct. Okay. We're doing something wrong. Okay, I18N. This is okay. This one is okay. we have the resources. That's an object. Oh, no. No, that shouldn't be that. No. Let's see. No, it isn't. And there's no arrays here or anything like that. This exactly. Translation. This is okay. And app title. Okay, so should this be strings? You said that. Did you say that? Somebody said that, I think. No, that's not it. So there's only one thing for me to add, and that is the use suspense thing.
They do it as a string in the documentation, don't they? Translation and then welcome to React is a string.
Yeah, I did that now.
Okay.
I did that now. The question is if I need to stop this again, because I don't know what is being, compiled before you started. But I'm not sure about this.
Aren't they just using strings because it's a 3-worded object?
Yeah.
You know.
Not sure. Not sure what you mean, by the way.
Well, if you have space in your object name, you can't do it.
But I don't have a space.
No, but they have it. They have space.
Yeah, so that's probably why they use strings. You understand? Yeah, yeah. Okay, now I got you.
Okay.
Jesus. No, yeah. Right. You don't have to use those strings. Wow. We are missing one single. Okay, so let's do fallback language. Let's add that. Language EN, right. And so let's just do fallback language on this. The fuck are you talking about? Right, now we got it. But now it doesn't interpret this as thing. So what if we do interpolation true? No. So what if we do false? And there is you see, it's your fault now. It's not me anymore. You know that, right?
Could take the categories instead.
Once again?
Take the categories instead.
No, I will solve
Just
the
to
issue.
make it.
I will solve the issue. So, where is that? Where's my browser? Don't I have a browser somewhere here? No browsers. Let's do another browser, and we can do a React render string as HTML. There is when rendered in React we use dangerously set inner HTML attribute. Right. Match description instead of this. Yeah, but that's not what I want. Dangerously set inner HTML. I could do that just to get this over and done with, right? Is that how it does it? No, we have to wrap it twice. like this. What? Is this like this and HTML? This? Right. I don't know. No, that wasn't it. Subtitle. Oh, because oh shit. X. So this. Right. Okay. It's a bit hacky, boys, but it gets the job done, right? There's a solution for everything. Okay. Now we got it. We got it. So let's just switch the locale, okay? Let's do that instead. So let's focus on clicking that link. Now we gotta fucking, oh gosh, Jesus. That was the wrong call on my side. I will make this. Where is that? Fake news, data CY app title, fake spam question, news. Oh, because, oh god. Contain. So, right, okay, this might work actually. Okay, let's see how we switch locally. So, extraction step by step in the next instance, use translation.
What does that key separator do?
Which one?
Inside, you see inside the config, you see under on line 25 there.
Oh, that's a way to if you have nested things. Let me get back to that. Remember this question. I will show you. Okay. It's about building a structure of the translation file, how you separate those things. But that's a little further into this talk. Okay.
Okay.
I will get to that. Right. So change locales. Let's see. Change. Lazy loading translation. Really? Okay. So let's just go here. And on the return here, when we click on it, I just want to set a debugger because I don't know how to do this. So I'm just going to set a debugger here. And we're going to run this again. And here we are, right? We just clicked on this debugger. And so here I want to say I18N. Really? Come on, give me a fucking break. There we go. So we can take a look at the mother and in the context translation. Get I18N. Set I18N. There we go. So it's set. I think it's set low. Set. Is it set language? Let me just check that. Right. So it's actually no. It's change language. No, we don't have that, but let's try that. Let's try that here instead. Oh, come on. I18 and change language to SE. Right, let's just try that. Who knows? It might work. Yeah, there we go. So, and it's fast gonna hit. But there is something wrong with the assertion. That's the only thing that is problematic now. Why is the assertion?
What if you
So
just write the actual string, like just falsknyheter?
You think so?
Maybe.
But what does it say? Timeout. Div fake news. Expected div at fake news. Div at fake news. But what does it? Well, okay. So we can say contain. Let's see, because there's a match here for Cypress where we can say that it doesn't have to be exact. Do you understand? Cypress contain exact false. Can we say something like that? Contains
Include.
match. Contains about arguments. Log timeout yields. Contains apples. No, that's not even that. It should contain.
Isn't it like should contain dot text?
Yeah, it could be, but this is a looser than text, so I was hoping for this. No.
But remove the span and all
Yeah.
those things and just have falsknyheter.
Yeah.
Or just false and the question mark. Inter. Or
There we go.
Maybe is there a matcher for like HTML?
This is now the yeah it is, but this is working now.
Alright, cool.
Right. So the next one will be being savage. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Sorry for missing your message. So let's just copy this one and say clicking on English, right? And this will say fake news. You were right. Yeah, because we didn't add it here in the navbar, right? So we just want to say add an on click on the English thing, right? You can't change something if you don't have en, right? So this should go green now, right? And we can toggle this ourselves here. You see?
Ding, ding.
Cool.
So that is pretty much that. To be honest, let's just basic adds basic I18Next setup like this, and also now the only thing I want to do now is to close everything, and in our source folder I'm just gonna add a new folder, and I'm just gonna say call it translations, for instance, and here I'm gonna create 2 files. Well, actually, just hold on a second. I want to add do I want them as JSON files, or do I want them as no, yeah, I want them as JavaScript files. Right, so we're just gonna do new file se.js, and we're just gonna say const se equals an object, and just remember to export it. Export default se, and I'm just gonna copy this this object here to the SE object. So, well, that was a bit too much. There we go. I can actually move this up here. So there we go. And then I'm going to say in my I18N that I want to import from translations the SE file, and I'm just going to say SE, right? And so here I can just say SE would be SE. But so I forgot one. Oh god, I'm making a mess here. There we go, right? So now this should work anyway. Right. Right. So I can do the same thing with the English translation, right? So I can just copy the whole thing here, or X this, and I would say EN, and I will just create a new file here, and I'm going to call it en.js, and I'm just going to say const en equals this, and just export default en. And so in my file here, I just need to import this from translations en. Oops. Just say en, and we should be good to go. Right. So now we have this extracted. Okay. So the question that Christer had about the key separator, right? So if we take a look at how can I explain this now? Let's show it like this. Let's say that in the Swedish thing here, I can have a nested object. So language names, language names. Okay, and that would be Swedish, and in Swedish is svenska, right? And English is engelska, right? Right. And so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to get over to the English version, and I'm going to add the same thing here, but Swedish in Swedish is called Swedish, right? And English in English is called English. Right. Okay. So now what we have is a nested object. So we have language names and Swedish. So we have to be able to access that somehow, right? So in our components here, and I'm not test driving this now, but because this is just a demo, but you understand the implication. You should probably write a test for this. Oh no, you need to test, right? Not probably. Remove that. You need to write a test for it. Okay, so in the what was it? Layout, navigation, navbar, right? So we had this. So here I want to say T, and then language names dot Swedish, and I'm just going to copy this, and here I want to say English. Okay, so that's the way I'm used to doing this. Language names dot and then Swedish. That would access the nested version here. Okay, now this setting that you were asking me about, Christer, is how to deal with this. Now, according to the documentation, they don't want to deal with this dot notation. But before we switch things around, let's see if we can make this work. So it says, I don't know if you can see that, but it says Svenska, Engelska now, right? So let's just click on Svenska and click on Engelska. And when I click on English, it changes to Swedish and English, right? So we achieved what we wanted to achieve, right? So because you want to show this in the native language, blah, 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 blah. You understand the UX here, probably. But now, so according to the docs, and this is something I do not really understand, to be honest, is this thing, key separated false. We do not use keys in the form of messages.welcome. And I don't understand why that would be. So let's just add this to our I18N. Okay. That would be here. And we just add this like this, right? And run the tests again. And now it doesn't work anymore. Do you understand? Now I'm not sure what will work. So we're going to have to experiment a little bit. So perhaps it is, I don't know, comma like this. Could that be it? Perhaps. No. So that's not it either. So I don't know, to be honest. I am used to doing it like this. I think this is the best way of doing it. And therefore, I can safely say to this setting, fuck off. Is that a good answer to your question? Right. I knew you'd like it. I knew you'd like it. We have some sound issues on Twitch for some reason. I don't know why that would be. Perhaps no, I should be okay, but I can free up a little more. Right, so that's pretty much it. There's not much else I can tell you. You just import this hook, you create this, you know, this T function and this I18N function. Now, the thing is, the reason why I had to have this here in the navbar, why I created this, is because I'm using it later to change the language. You remember, right? But if I don't use it, I don't have to have it. There will be components where you don't deal with I18N directly. You're just using it, so you don't have to, you know, you don't have to import this basically. But this is as simple as it gets. And before I18N, you had to deal with this manually, you know, pushing things out in Redux and all of that stuff. But this one simplifies dealing with multiple languages or multi-language support in a much easier way. There are some caveats. We just scratched the surface here. Because you can also set up your application to detect the browser language. If somebody is using English as a default language on his or hers browser, you can detect that, of course, right? In multiple ways. There is a package to do that, but you can also tap into the navigator language, you know, current language or whatever it's called, because the navigator object holds that information for you. But I don't think that this is relevant at this stage. I think this setup here is the bare minimum that you can get by. Does this change language triggers re-render with new strings, or is it directly changes them via DOM, since I didn't see any attachments to components? So I am pretty sure that it re-renders the entire thing, because we're using suspense and the context API, and the context API is changing state, so it is a re-render that is being triggered. I'm pretty sure it is, but that needs to be evaluated, and bear that in mind. Actually, this is a very relevant question, because if you are not setting your state, I mean, if it triggers a re-render, that could potentially lead to some unforeseen results for your application in terms of being being lost somehow. It seems like we have issues with my sound. I don't really know why. I should be okay with everything, but who knows? It's a bit. Being Savages followed us. Thank you very much for that, and I'm sorry about the voice quality. I will look into that. David, did you learn anything from this session? Can you see a good use case in your application for this? Yeah. Yes. Those JSON files need to be generated. There are online services that can do this for you, and it's the one that I've used before. Let me see if I can find it. It's called Locally App. Is it called Locally App? Right. Right. Signing with GitHub, perhaps. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I've actually used this one before, long time ago, and so I have this project here that has some translations to multiple languages, and I can export here down. We can do downloads, but this one is actually doing YAML files, so perhaps this is not the best one. I use this in the context of Rails. There are others as other services, or potentially you can do some settings here. Just haven't done it. I haven't used this one in a long time, and so you can probably, let's see, settings, API key. No. Anyway, no. But there are, you can do this locally through an interface if you want. So that's definitely possible. All right. Christer, what do you say? And you basically treat those. This is instead of where you go here. Instead of a string, you just put this one. You know, t and the key that you reference it with. You know, so exactly right. And no, but in terms of usage, it's pretty simple. Instead of strings, you just use this. You know. And there, you know, you can pass in variables and stuff like that in this, because this might be a question that comes up if you have dynamic content, you can pass it in and so on. Luke? Mm, definitely. Arun, I know you came in late. What do you take on this? Cool. Seba? Yeah. That's the holy grail of all translated apps, you know, to have somebody do it for you. Yeah. So I can say this, that there are tools like the one that I showed you, Locally App, but others that where you can tap into Google Translate to do that. I would be very careful with doing that, because you get some weird ass, results on this. So I would take it easy. And your application isn't that big, so I would spend some time doing that. And you guys are multinationals here. So if you create, yeah, at least in your final project, perhaps not in this one, but in your final project should be definitely translated to all the languages that you guys speak, and that goes for socially as well. You know, you Norrländskan, you can probably add some funny expressions there. That would actually, oh, exactly. That instead of okay buttons, you just go, yeah, yeah, yeah. You can add sounds, but I don't know if you can do that. But you can condition that if the locale is Norrländska, then you can play that audio sound, you know. So that would be. Kim is MIA, so he's gone. He's sleeping. All right, this is fucking awesome. So Kim, what is your take on all of this? Oh, the fucking yeah. So you know, if you're a Amazon Prime user as Luke, you can just subscribe and you can get rid of the commercials. That's definitely. I can reimburse you for that. Oh, that didn't fly. No. All right, all right. Okay, thank you. But yes, you're gonna have to rewatch this. But you heard me talking, so hopefully you catch a few things, right? And Lucas, your thoughts? Mm-hmm. Right, right. And so there is another thing because I know that you guys are building Rails APIs. What one thing that could be interesting for you is to translate active record objects, add translation to active record objects. So if the user is on a Swedish translation, you send that off to the backend, and for instance the categories, and I know that the categories are not objects at the moment, but let's say that they are, you can have the category name being translated, but you can also write an article and you can say that in English this article titles is this, in Swedish it's something else, and the content can also be translated. For that you can probably use Google Translate to start with, at least. Do you understand? So you can build an interface also on your creation, on your admin part there, where a user is saying, I want to write an article, but it's going to be only in English. You understand? And so you write an English version of it, and that will only be served for clients that uses the English locale, English translation, right? Or your journalist could, in principle, write two versions of the same article and just saying, right now I'm typing an English version, and then I want to type the Swedish version as well, right? The good thing with using active record translations is that the ID of the article will be the same. Do you understand? It's one instance in the database. It is just connected to two translations. So that's the beauty of that particular gem. If you want to get into that at some point, you can do that. I've used it in a few applications actually, where I wanted those objects to be one and the same because we were tracking analytics on it. Do you understand? So we wanted to say that article 1000 with ID 1000 has been accessed n amount of times, of which n amount of times was in English and another amount was in Swedish, for instance, right? That could be a very useful data for you to retain. But this is a little bit over your pay rate because I see that you're falling asleep while I'm talking about it. So let's give it a rest. I just wanted to mention that there are endless possibilities with this functionality. And again, detecting browser language and doing all sorts of stuff could be very useful. Chat, I don't know if you want to comment on anything apart from the bad sound, for which I'm very, very sorry, of course. If you learned anything, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't learn anything, give me a thumbs down, right? That's always a valuable feedback. But other than that, I think that, you know, I will be pushing this this up to to GitHub. Let's see if we can they make that happen. Git push origin translations, and I will make this available to you guys. I'm just going to create a new pull request. So here we are, and this is demo code translations. I will not add anything like this. You shouldn't merge this, fellas, but you can definitely use it for inspiration if you need. And here is the code. So we got a few thumbs up. Thank you very much for that. Unless there's anything else, it will do it for me now. We are 19 minutes past my lunchtime, which means that my belly starts to hurt a little bit and I'm getting cranky. So I need my food. Thank you, boys. Thank you, chat. Right. Stay cool, be safe, and all of that. All right. Thank you.